Two, one. Good morning. Good morning, good morning, good morning, my friends. It's Pete Cohen here. It's day 2 on the week of conquering stress. Conquering stress. How do you do that? Now, can you actually conquer stress? Well, this is one of the things that we are looking at this week. The whole purpose of this week is once again to help you navigate through life in a more productive way, to help you be a better version of yourself. We at My365 are so committed to doing a number of things, but fundamentally, major things. We believe that your future is basically unwritten, that no one has written your future, and that you have the power to create the future that you want. Now, just tell me, is anyone in agreement with that? Does anyone agree with that? Does anyone think, yeah, that's quite true, that I have the ability, me, as you do as well. Do you believe that? Do you believe you have the ability to write the future that you want? It's either a yes or a no. Yes or no. You have that ability and you have the power to do something about that. You see, the biggest challenge that we face in doing this is, guess what, guys? Guess what? It's work. In order for you to do that, it's work. It's not coming to you. And one of the biggest changes in society today, based on how we were thousands of years ago, is that we've looked to make life easier for people. You know, like we've got dishwashers and washing machines, and you can order things and they just be sent to you. And it was supposed to make our life easier, but it hasn't. There's more stress. There's more issues around mental health. There's more suicide. There's more people suffering from anxiety, more phobias than there's ever been before. Why is that? Why do you think that is? Well, we're living in the body that's not and a mind that's not really adapted to live in a world that is going so fast. And if you want to play that game, if you want to play the game that everyone else is playing, then guess what, my friends? You will be a victim. How many of you want to be a victim? Anyone here want to be a victim? Anyone want to be here a victim? You know, yesterday I was with one of my colleagues and we had a meeting with a big CEO of a large corporate, and they actually, believe it or not, completely random, both flew back from the same country. They've only ever met each other once before. They flew back from another country on the same plane, on the same aisle. And you think, what's the chances of that? And I don't know whether you've ever been in waiting to get on an aeroplane and they say, could all women, could all people who have got special needs come to the front, so that they come to the front. Then could all the people who require special assistance, then could all the people who are platinum or gold members please come to the front? And you come to the front. Then it's silver, then it's gold, then it's premium economy, then it's economy, then it's slaves, then it's, I don't know, criminals. And you think, oh my God, there's this massive queue. And for so many of us, it's a bit of a random thing to say to you, but for so many of us, we are the victims. We're at the back of the queue because we haven't learned to rise up and take this opportunity on to be the very best version of yourself. And there's a lot of work on this. You know, this is a book. This is a great book. It's called The Plastic Mind. There's so much research proving that human beings have the capacity to be incredible. Human beings have the capacity to use stress in a number of different ways. So those of you that tuned in last week, we spoke about fear. Now, we have the ability to be frightened. Why? To survive. We have it. You know, loud noises, heights, it's a good time to be frightened. Any other fear is learned. If you're frightened of the opposite sex, if you're frightened of not being good enough, if you're frightened of not being loved, these are things that many of us have manifested. And because we've manifested these things, the stress response has become prominent in society today. Stress really, this is how I see it. And again, I might be wrong here. This is how I see it from years of working with people. Stress is a manifestation of fear. Stress is a manifestation, in many cases, of things we care about. So yesterday I asked everyone, you know, make a list of all the things that get you stressed. And I thank you so much for all of you that did that and become active actively participating in what we're doing. There's nothing better than getting actively involved in something, and that's what I encourage you to do. The best way you can actively get involved in what we're doing here is to get yourself a notebook, if you can, every day, and go to work on building that better version of you, because that seems to be one of the most powerful things any human being can do. And that's why, journaling, whether you use our journal or whether you come up with your own, a way of recording this journey. And I asked, all of you, because on the first day we spend on any particular subject, like last week it was fear, this week it's stress, to become more aware. Become more aware is to take more responsibility. I love that word. Write that word down. Response-able. That you have the ability, right? You have the power. How many of you realize that there is more to you than meets the eye? Yes, you know that. So what we need to look at today is, rather than running away from stress, which a lot of people do, a lot of people, they run away from it. How do they run away from it? They don't necessarily hide, but they don't acknowledge it. They think it's almost wrong to feel that way. And what's really interesting is research has shown that when people think that stress is a bad thing, then when they get stressed about something and then they think it's bad, they magnify the impact that stress is having on their body. Is that not fascinating? We know what massively shapes who we are is what we believe. If you believe you're not good enough, then your brain will go out and actively prove that theory, because it's a theory, it's not a fact. It's a theory that you've invested into. Other people maybe have invested into it. You are what you believe. And I challenge you, because this is the thing for today. I challenge you to look at the response to fear that you have in a different way. How many of you would be willing to do that? To let go of what you know and let go of what you do, which is a very hard thing for human beings to do, by the way. Human beings are very reluctant to let go of what they know, because it's what they know. How many of you still eat what's on your plate? You never used to do that. You would have stopped when you had enough, but now you go past that point. When someone sneezes, you probably go, bless you. These are things that are just learned responses. To change your response to things is part of where the power is, but also where the power is to change the way you look at things. I don't believe that people change when you tell them what to do. Do you? They might do it for a bit. People are much more inclined to change and to keep that change when their perspective changes. So part of what I'm doing here today is to give you an opportunity to change your perspective, to look at things differently. So how do we want to look at things? Right? I believe you've got two choices. You notice the way I say I believe? See, I believe in you. That's why I show up every day. I believe in you more than you could possibly imagine. I believe in people sometimes maybe more than they believe in themselves. Why? Because I love to see people grow. What about you? And then when we look at how people grow, this is interesting. How do we get better? Does it all just fall on our laps, or do we have to fight and work to get better at anything? What do you reckon? Please feel free to share this, because once again, this information that I'm giving to you, it will change someone's life. Someone's life is never going to be the same again in a positive way because of what I'm about to share with you. I can guarantee you that. How do I know that? It's called experience. You know, you're not the first person I've spoken to. You're not, and you're not the last. And what is the difference between you and someone else who's maybe happier, healthier, more productive, more successful, is how they choose to move through the world and how, when something happens, they react to it. So you can choose the threat response, or you can choose the challenge response. Please write that down. Okay, I've drawn it. Here's one I made earlier. Okay, so most of you know, I don't know how well you can all see this on, you can see this on Instagram. So this is one of the things that we encourage everyone to do, is to imagine this is you, right? This is you, the I. This is I. Hi, I am here. I. This is the you, okay? This is what you This is you, what you were put on this earth to do. This is what radiates you, what brings you to life. And maybe being here brings you to life a little bit. You feel that you're a part of something. You feel connected. You feel, or you're working on your purpose in this world. So things happen to you because we tend to get stressed about things we care about. And that to me was, I know it was a big light bulb moment for a lot of you yesterday, wasn't it? The realization, yeah, I do get stressed about things that I care about. That's what happens for most people. Not everyone, but for most people. Because I can't speak for everyone. I don't know people, everyone. But I know a lot of people, and I can tell you, this is what happens. When something happens that you care about, it either threatens you or it can challenge you. And this is the difficult response for most people. Because if you're used to it, I'm being threatened. I feel stressed, I feel threatened, I feel threatened, I feel threatened. That's what I know. It's like me putting your hand out to shake your hand. You shake my hand. Why? That's what you do. Rather than running away from fear, which is what that is about, what I'm encouraging you to do over time, and we are touching the surface on this, but you know what? Sometimes that's all you need to do for you all of a sudden to realize I have a choice. And when you realize you have a choice, guess what, my friends? You can't make excuses. You can't blame other people unless you want to, but that's not going to get you very far. It's called 100% responsibility for how you think and feel and act. It's not always the easiest thing to do, but the easiest things to do are boring. Do you not think it's boring? Do you not think that what you've done already in your life to get to this point is pretty damn awesome? Congratulations, well done. But what's next? Wouldn't it be amazing to be able to do this? You know, to know that you don't have to run away from fear. And this is what I want you to write down, run away from stress. This is what I am asking you to do, to ask yourself to accept stress, to welcome stress, to almost embrace it. Because you have an opportunity to use that stress to do something. Stress is a powerful activation energy. And to be curious, the curious mindset is something that we talk a lot about here on My 365. To become curious, to become aware, to become, and to do this is very liberating for people. Otherwise, you are in constant conversation with what your duck is telling you to do. And here you go. I'm going to say something really profound. How many of you would love me? My mum is just saying she hasn't finished. I don't normally pay attention to everyone's comments because I want everyone to feel that I'm talking to you. But if my mum wants me, she's got me. So she says, please move away from the flip chart. I haven't finished. There you go, mum. So this is just for my mum, okay? Whose birthday is it tomorrow? I think it is tomorrow, my mum's birthday, right? And she taught me a lot. You know, my mum taught me how to be stressed and worried, you know, but she did the best that she could, you know. Why? Well, she learned that. Listen to this. She learned this from her dad. Her dad was incredibly stressed and worried, but she's more than that. And seeing the growth in my mum, and that's not my real mum. She is my mum, but that's not who she really is. That's what she has created. She wasn't born that way. It's her second nature. It's not her true nature. Her true nature is actually, she's a warrior. She finds ways. If she can't find a way, she'll make a way. That's who she is. That's who I am, because I had a good teacher. It's still my choice. What about you? Who are you really? Are you more than this? Even if it's very familiar to you, are you more than this? Just to acknowledge it means, yeah, I am more than this. And, you know, it's okay if that's what you want to continue to do. I'd say, enjoy it. Enjoy feeling threatened. I still feel threatened from time to time. You know, I'm not perfect. You're not perfect. But I know that my growth is through taking on the things that challenge me. So there's a massive amount of food for thought here. And this is such a powerful thing that I want to say. And like I say, we touch on the surface of these things. And many of our My 365 elite members know that with our masterclasses, you have an opportunity to go into this stuff. It's like going back to school, you know, to really learn and work on the things that are important that will allow you to be a better version of who you are today. Because it isn't going to happen for you. It's going to happen for you by deciding, cutting off certain ways of behaving in the past and deciding to move forward in a different way. So what I'm asking you to do today is to understand this, that stress response of when the voice in your head sometimes says, we're under attack, or they don't like me, or this is going to go wrong. You, if you want, you could take that initial, the duck in your head saying that to you as a prompt to show to yourself, look, no, let me show you what I can do. Let me show you what I can do. I'm here every day showing you what I can do. Since we've been doing this, we've almost, I don't know how many broadcasts we've done. We've not missed a day in 2 years. We've done almost 100 podcasts. We've done, I think, nearly 8 or 9 master classes. We are relentless, a whole group of us, because we want to inspire you to do great things. And it's really up to you what you do, but I promise you, you have a network here that you can tap into as you go to work on what's really important to you. So I appreciate every single one of you showing up, and we really appreciate every time you share whatever it is we put out there. If you share one of our podcasts, we've got a new podcast coming out today. If you share these broadcasts, you don't know whose life this might affect. And many of you also know that we have the My365 Summit. Who's coming to the summit, by the way? 2017, 23rd of September, with the amazing, there's something incredible that happens. And I don't know how many of you are getting on really well with your summit challenge. If you're on this challenge, I would imagine that a lot of you are, but some of you probably have started it, like you have all the great intentions, but then things happen and this goes by the wayside. And I don't know how you're getting on, but feel free to share that. There's still an offer. Look at all the people that are coming to the summit. It's an amazing opportunity for you not to be around some amazing My365ers, but you also have the opportunity to learn not just from me. I'm going to be delivering some amazing content on that day, but you also have the opportunity to learn from one, I believe, the greatest nutritionist and one of the greatest health practitioners in the world, Dr. Rakowski, and the amazing Patty Drobanowski. We're flying them over for you. We are flying them over for them to share their wisdom for you to grow. You were put on this earth to grow. You were put on this earth to be better than you are today. It's whether you choose to take that path or not. Thank you so much for showing up today. There's a link here. In fact, if you want to find out more about the summit, I think there's an offer on getting 2 tickets and getting the second ticket slightly cheaper. You can check it out on there. I've just put it in the comments. Anyway, thank you for being. I hope you've enjoyed today. Take a moment, and I would be I'm really encouraging you, whenever we do broadcasts, stop at the end and think to yourself, what's my biggest takeaway? What's my biggest takeaway from today? Just write it down and go to work. Become curious. Go out there today and say, okay, we'll look at this more tomorrow. How many of you are excited about this and giving it a go? Because that's what we're going to do, my friends. That's what we're going to do. Thank you so much. I appreciate every single one of you being here. Have an amazing day. In fact, let's just do a quick summary. You guys are great there on Instagram. You know what I'm talking about. Let's end that. Let's share it. Let's just do a very 20 seconds. I think it's 15 seconds. Here we go. Ready? So that was day 2 on conquering stress, choosing the challenge response rather than the threat response. Have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow for day 3 of conquering stress. Have an amazing day. Much love to you all, guys. Thank you for being here. See you tomorrow.